Hello and welcome to Color Up. How would you like to win $500 a day at craps? I know I would, but is it possible? Today we're going to cover a strategy that claims it is. Let's check it out. Today we're going to be talking about Al Kaufman's pass, no pass method. He calls it a method instead of a strategy or system. It's real simple. You're going to bet on the pass and don't pass. Now here, I would consider this kind of it to fall in the martingale category because when you lose, you're going to double and then add a unit. You're going to do that for the first 4 losses, and then after that, you just double your unit. I'll go ahead and put the amounts over here on the side here. So it's going to go from 5, 15, 35, 75, and on up to $1,200. So in this strategy, he says basically you have to lose 8 times in a row on either the pass or the don't pass. So you're gonna have to lose 8 times in a row on, let's say, the don't. That final bet's gonna be $1,200. And if you lose that, you're out $2,380. So your total bankroll needs to be that $2,380 to withstand 8 losses in a row, either on the pass or the don't pass.
Back and forth to each one. So the way that this one's going to work, this one's pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to wait for whatever side wins, and then you're going to pick that side 3 times in a row, and then you're going to switch over unless it stays on a run. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to go ahead and start off. Now, in this particular case, we'll go ahead and just do free deal. So you're at the table, and you want to see which side wins. Player side has won, so we're going to go ahead and let's see something here. Actually, what I'm going to do is you're going to go ahead and do 3 in a row on banker. Okay, you can start with 25. Okay, so we're going to lose that. So we're going to stick with banker, and we're going to go 50. And we're going to lose that one as well. So we're going to go 100 on banker. And this is the 3rd time in a row. Okay, that's going to be a tie. So the money came back to us. We started with a 10,000 bankroll, by the way. So we're going to stay on banker on the tie after the tie. Okay, we got our win. Okay, so now, because we got our win, okay, we want to stay on the winning side. I know that I said 3 times on each one, but you can't leave a side after a win. If one side wins, the purpose of that is to prevent a banker run. So if you come over here now and you start doing 3 in a row on player, what happens if banker has going on a run right now? So you don't want to do that, okay?
How to win at Baccarat. In this video, you're going to see in action the ultimate Baccarat strategy. Let's start instantly. Today, we will take advantage of a smart usage of the martingale, betting only on player and banker using a very specific pattern. I'm going to play for more than 4 hours, taking my budget from $118 to $1,118. That makes 1K of profit. There is no magic formula, just this very specific pattern. Player, banker, player, player, banker, banker. If you win, you start again from the first bet. The first bet on player. If you lose, you continue the series, doubling up your betting. If there is a tie, the money of the current bet returns to you. So in that case, you must stay to your current bet and bet again the same amount on player or on banker, depending on where you are on the scheme. I suggest you play in the casino where I'm going to play to avoid seeing you lose. I discovered that several casinos are rigged and their algos will make you lose in the medium or in the long terms. It's very difficult for an unrigged baccarat to hit exactly our scheme in the opposite. So the chances that our scheme made of player, banker, player, player, banker, banker wins are extremely maximized, especially in the long term, since it's a very particular and long series. Using this gaming table, you'll be able to choose your bet, budget, and security that will make you able to reach a very high security up to 99.7%. Just remember that if, unluckily, you reach the last bet on banker, you must repeat the scheme again from the beginning. Let's dive into this Baccarat strategy. To explain how to win a Baccarat, I used $1 as a starting bet. But when you'll try this strategy, you can start with higher bets, like $5 if you prefer. Just remember to follow the scheme and this Baccarat strategy pattern as we are going to see right now. Today, let's play with my casino budget of only $1 is going to give you an excellent chance of winning thanks to a precise and mathematical method. In this video, you will be introduced to one of the most powerful blackjack strategies. Prepare to acquire valuable knowledge that can enhance your chances of emerging victorious. Theoretically, you could use this method in real casinos, but I advise you to apply it online for sessions of 30 minutes maximum and only in unbiased casinos and on some specific game tables. When it comes to online blackjack, it is unfortunately not uncommon to encounter casinos that appear to be legitimate but employ unfair control systems with the intention of causing players to lose. I leave you the link in the description where you will find a legitimate and unbiased casino where to play safely, as well as a strategic scheme to use this blackjack strategy perfectly. The good news is that you don't have to memorize them all individually. I prepared a pattern for you, ensuring that you can always select the mathematically optimal choice based on your specific situation. Here it is, a simple and intuitive chart. Vertically, you'll find the sum of your cards, and horizontally, you'll see the dealer's cards. For example, if your cards have a sum of 16 and the dealer has 8, let's see what to do together. What should you do? That's right, ask for a card. You want to ask, in addition to card and staying, there are other options. In some cases, it's better to double and ask for a card. In the video description, you will find a link to download the game. These tips are based on simple math and statistics. They are not foolproof. It's important to remember that even with the best choices, you can still lose hand. However, following this table precisely gives you a significant advantage and increase your chances of success. In addition to the strategy scheme that you've seen, there is another approach to further increase your advantage in blackjack. So let's see how to apply the martingale strategy in parallel with the previous scheme and also with some necessary precautions. This will increase your winning probability from about 48% for each individual hand to about 97.2% over 5 consecutive cycles of play. I will use the minimum stake to show you the effectiveness of this strategy, but you can choose up to 8 cycles, increasing your statistical winning probability to 99.4%. This way, earning €500 with a budget of €1,275 will be extremely easy. Here's how it works. If you happen to lose a hand, you double your bet on the next hand to recover the previous losses and aim for a positive outcome. By maximizing your winning opportunities, you can play with confidence and strive for consistent earnings. Now let's delve into the details of how to effectively apply this blackjack strategy in online blackjack. To get started, I recommend having €155 because it's the minimum budget to bring to the table for use in this blackjack strategy. As you can see below,
Hey, it's Brandon. Welcome back to another one here on the MSC Memorabilia. We're going to teach you how to win $500 and then go back to your stateroom. Okay, this one is a $775 buy-in, and the way this works is we're going to bet $100 on 5 double streets. So we'll go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now what we want to do is put $100 on the first column, which would be this one. This is the first column. It's facing me. So, and then we want to put $25 on some corners. So let's see, all the way down here. 4, 5, 6, and then we want to put $25 on 0. So the way this works is there's 4 numbers you can lose it with. The double 0, you can lose with the, well, partially with the 36 and 3. Great. Let's see how that works out. So basically, if I hit with this column, I'm going to win $125. And then if I hit the corners, one of these, I'm going to win $50, and we're going to walk away when we win $500. So $500 and get back to your stateroom. That is the name of the system. It is a $775 buy-in. Let's get started with our first spin. All right, so 32. So we win $50.
The next thing we're going to look at is the simple martingale system. And the martingale, again, this is going to be based on doubling after you lose a hand. So we're going to start with $100 per hand on player. After a loss, the next bet is double the previous. If we ever reach the table maximum, then we can only bet the table max because every casino has a table max bet and you will not be able to get away from it. After a tie, we will simply keep the same bet that we had the previous hand. And after a win, we assume we will eventually win. We're going to start over again with the base bet. Now, I'm not going to reset at the start of every shoe because the martingale just has you doubling up until you win. So, okay, let's go ahead and look at that spreadsheet now. All right, so here is the simulation of the martingale. And in this particular simulation, you notice that I have a max bet set up over here. The max bet is very important for the martingale. So I have this set at 10,000. Let's just make it much smaller. Let's just start with the $1,000 max bet and see what happens. So here, if we have a double up system, then we can only double up 100, 200, 400, 800. And then on our 5th loss, we'd be forced to bet simply 1,000. So again, you can see that because we're going to be betting larger amounts of money, the theoretical loss is going to be substantially higher. So you notice here, using the martingale system, rather than that $99,000, we're expecting to lose sometimes $250,000 or more. Now, the higher I make this number, 2 things are going to happen when I make that number higher. Number 1 is that we are going to lose more because we're allowing ourselves to bet more in certain situations. The other thing is that this line right here of our actual results is going to become more variable. The variance is going to be higher. It's going to tend to move around a lot more. So here you see that we're ending up right on the line, but we have some crazy rides along the way. If I move this up to 5,000 and then run the simulation, again, you notice here that our expected loss is almost $400,000, and we can do much worse than that. There's nothing that says that we have to land on that line, but the martingale has a lot of variability to it. So you see here how even out towards 700 shoes, we're still beating the house here. So the higher we make the max bet, the more double ups are possible before the catastrophe strikes. And so because double ups, because long sequences of losses are increasingly rare, the more double ups we allow ourselves, you're going to have this increasingly jagged line that's going to happen. So let's just run one or two more of these. But the point is, it is still a losing system. Do you see that, how it's losing? But let's run just a couple of these with a $25,000 max bet, and you will notice that it really becomes sharply jagged at this point. So, all right, the lesson of the martingale is you are going to lose a lot of money, but you're going to have a wild ride doing it. And you're going to lose a lot more than flat betting. You're going to lose a lot more than streak betting. But you might enjoy these spiky moments because a lot of people gamble for those extreme changes in their bankroll. All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Baccarat Stu, here with another video. Wow, what a start to this video, right? I could have gone hours making videos showing what people are saying online and how they're teaching you to play. Just like we talked about yesterday, no regard for your bankroll whatsoever. At best, these systems may work in a short term. Many systems work in the short term, but these will all eat up your bankroll. As the last video I showed, I feel like depicted it, and we could talk more about the St. Petersburg paradox later about why that destroys why any idea that martingale worked. And again, this, like the video we're looking at right now, he said you needed a bankroll of, what was it, $2,380 to win five. Okay, because he's adds up maybe like $20, $25. So do you want to risk $2,380 to win $25? That doesn't sound like he has much regard for your bankroll at all. And there's better ways to go about this. If that's the game you're going to play, just send me a check or send the casino a check or stay home. Don't play at all, because this system, well, is guaranteed to fail. Well, what about this system? Well, this guy said that he's gonna basically, he has some superstitious way of choosing which three hands are gonna play that he feels gives him the best chance of winning. Ironically, in the little bit that we watched, it took him three hands to get a single win, but he was no better than the martingale. Now, he was only doing 3 bets, but that's 6 units on, and 3 bets that you're risking just to win 1 unit. So, and we see this guy here. Look, I love these claims. These are my favorite. We'll talk about these ones here in a second. 99.7% win rates. What's he doing? More martingale. Well, yeah, the martingale does have a high win percentage, but it's that loss. It's even if that 99.7 number is accurate, all it takes is that one loss, and everything that you worked for up until that point goes kablooey, goes poof. It never existed. And we'll talk about this. He does it again, the same guy. And I was so entertained by it. He says the same thing again about blackjack, except for now he goes from 99.7 to 99.8. And I don't know where he found that extra decimal point. Maybe he has an answer for that, but still, he's peddling the martingale, which is even more dangerous than blackjack because you got doubles and splits. What are you going to do when you get to the last hand of your martingale blackjack and you get dealt double aces? Well, I guess if you only had the bankroll prepared to handle the martingale for what you had, you're not gonna be able to split. So you're gonna basically be effectively be hitting on a soft 12. And then, well, I have another video we're gonna talk about tomorrow or another day, where a guy talks about the no bust strategy. So maybe you can follow his strategy and see how well that works. And that's gonna be a fun video when we get into that. So all these systems, all these people are giving you ideas for how to make $500 in 7 minutes. Well, how much is he risking to make $500? He's risking what was it, $725, $750, something like that for this video, to make $500 in 7 minutes, or $500 per day. I mean, these guys, this bottom line, I just won't belabor the point. I think you all get where I'm going with this. The bottom line is these people cannot do this consistently, and they are begging the casino to take their bankroll from them. Bottom line. So let me share a different screen 1 second. There was one guy in there. He said, well, if you bet this pattern in Baccarat, you have a 99.7% chance of winning. Just keep repeating this pattern with the martingale. Just keep repeating this pattern. And what I want to show you guys is, this is, if you played 5 hands of Baccarat and excluded ties, you didn't count ties, these are the 32 possibilities that you will get out of 5 hands of blackjack, or Baccarat, sorry. All of them have a 1 in 32 chance of happening, which just so we get the math done, let me pull out my calculator. 1 divided by 32. All of them have a 3.125% chance of happening. So basically, if you just pick one of these and you play the martingale, you have about a 97% chance of winning, because the only chance that you have that you'll lose is if the casino chooses the exact opposite 5 that you're playing. But does it happen? It happens all the time. It has to be, if you play 5 hands, it has to be some combination. We see, it's not uncommon, I mean, just because the human eye, it's not uncommon to see 5 bankers or 5 players in a row. It's not uncommon, but all of these combinations have the exact same probability of happening over 5 hands. And if you stretch this out to 10 hands, you're going to have much more than 32 possible combinations, but each and every single combination has the same exact probability of coming out. So just by choosing this magic combination, you're not going to be safe from the martingale, because all of these combinations can happen. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, Baccarat isn't 5 hands, a 5-hand series. Baccarat isn't a 10-hand series. Baccarat is 1 hand. You get 1. And it's either going to be player or banker. And over a stretch, how to explain this? Streaks or patterns, those are all things that are in our heads, but they don't actually exist. They're human constructs, the way we see things, but they don't actually exist. So there's no way to say, like, oh, well, we're not going to get this pattern right here, or we're going to get this pattern right here. It's banker can happen twice, then player can happen, then banker can happen, then player can happen. They all have the equal amount chance of happening. Now, there is card counting in Baccarat, and that could give you the slightest of slight and a very slight edge. But that's not what we're talking about here. So I said in the last video, I was going to show you how to make, we actually were going to be able to make $500 a day, but we're not going to be charlatans about it. Okay. We're going to be real. And before I get onto this, we're going to say, well, Baccarat Stu, doesn't your system kind of rely on patterns? And the answer is yes, but I'm not banking on a single pattern to come out and win. I'm using patterns to help as a means to help dictate which direction my bets go. But I'm not using patterns expecting that I'm going to get a long win streak by following this pattern, or this pattern is going to help me win. And you guys will see that more and more as we make videos. It's not quite the same thing. I use the patterns as a tool, but I'm not dependent upon the patterns to come out, and that's how I'm going to win. Anyone who shows you that, oh, well, just bet this pattern, or when you see this, bet this pattern, when you see that, bet this pattern, do me a favor and run from them, because they don't understand math. They don't understand Baccarat. They don't understand how the past is no predictor of the future, especially when it comes to gambling. And if you choose to put your money down following their advice, you will likely win a little in the short term, but you will lose in the long term. And this is a little sidebar. I'm probably gonna make a whole nother separate video talking about this, but there's no shortage of videos on YouTube where someone's like, well, play this table for 3 hands and get this profit from this table, and then change tables and then go get a little bit of profit from this table. If your system can't just sit down at a table and win, and you can't just play the game, you have to rely on hoping for short-term success, then your system isn't consistent, and you need to find a way to do better. All right, so now this is the part of the video we've all been waiting for. And I feel like this part of the video is worth the price of admission. So how are we going to make $500 a day? Well, my friends, you all know my system is about 24 units per day. And I know, especially starting out, that because you guys see here, we start out at $1. I tell my people to start at $1,000, and I tell them to start making $1 bets. And let me tell you that when you have a $1,000 bankroll, a $1 bet making $24 a day is not sexy. No one is gonna watch your YouTube video when you say, high stakes, I put $1 on the table and won. It's not gonna get many clicks. You're not gonna get a whole bunch of subscribers. Nobody cares if you made $1 a day. But or $1 in a shoe. Or $1, not in a shoe, but $1 units at a time. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to watch you play $1 units. I don't even want to play $1 units, to be honest with you. But here's the thing. You have to separate yourself from the numbers mentally. You can't let the numbers dictate how you play. Then you have to look at it as a lot of people come to gambling, and this is a common phrase I say. A lot of people come to gambling and they think that gambling is going to be the answer to their problems. We all have financial problems. The world's been crazy lately. I mean, I don't have to get into it. So a lot of people come to gambling and they think that it's going to be an answer to their problems. And if you're coming to gambling looking for an answer to your problems, you're going to be desperate. You're going to be foolish. You're going to make bad decisions. Your problems are going to get worse. Now, if you separate yourself from the numbers and you actually organically grow your bankroll and a matter that's protecting your bankroll and is safe, well, safer, then you can actually, and you separate yourself from the numbers, then you could actually start to make real money. Because you have to look at it as not an answer to your problems, it's a job. So your job, look at this. Here's the bottom of the chart. Your job pays you now that you just signed up for, pays you almost $196,000 a year. $196,000 a year. Who's signing up for this job? Are you signing up for this job? If I said, hey, I got a job, you sit at a computer, you drive to a building, and I'm going to pay you $196,000 a year. Are you signing up for that job? Because I am. Do you guys know what 924 divided by 365 is? I'll do it right now. Hang on my phone calculator. That comes out to $536.77. You'll be making, on average, $536.77 per day organically. But the catch is, it starts way up here. Guess what, though? When you get to the point where you're going to $2 unit, you now have a bankroll of $1,912. When you get to the point where you're going to a $3 unit, you now have a bankroll of $3,264. It actually, the further you go in this program, your bets increase, but the more safer the risk is to your bankroll. When you get down to, when you're at this stage right here, you're trying to make about 2.5% a day, $48 a day, 1,912 is roughly about 2.5% per day. When you get down to the bottom and you get over here, you're trying to make about 1.65% per day. You are making, once you reach this stage, you're making $2,400 a day, but you're doing it in such a way that's actually safer than when you were making $48 a day. This is the power of compound interest. This is how you grow your bankroll organically. Now, can you take money out as you go? Yeah, sure, but you're going to stunt your growth and it's going to be a little bit longer, but you'll get there. But check this out. If I tell you people this, you will look at me and you'll say, man, $24 a day playing $1 units, that doesn't excite me. Well, guess what? Within 87 days, we'll call that 3 months, you'll be up to, your bankroll will be up to $4,264 because you started with 1,000. So you'll have made $3,264. That's over $1,000 a month for those 3 months. I want everybody sitting at home right now, raise your hand. Would you like to have an extra $1,000 a month added to your household income? Is this playing crazy? Are you doing anything that's like, are you doing anything that's putting your bankroll at risk? That's, you know, lighting your hair on fire and trying to go make $1 million? No. But you're just following the program, and yeah, it's a long road. But like I said yesterday, where are the casinos going? What are you doing right now that's gonna give you an extra $1,000 a month in 3 months? That's gonna be consistent. That's gonna protect your bankroll. Or, I mean, if you don't like this idea is too slow for you, I showed you a bunch of videos at the beginning of this video. You could go use their system and see how well it works for you. Good luck. So I've gone on and on and on. So now let me pause this video and I'll go get my 6 units for the video. We're going on, but this is how, before I do this is how you make $500 a day. And this is a mature way. If you're going to do it by gambling in a casino, this is a mature way. It's a more adult way. It's a more disciplined way to actually do it. Yeah, you're not going to get $500 in the first day, but you're going to average over $500 a day. And ultimately, if we can do that, who here wouldn't like, I mean, $500 a day times 30, that's an extra $15,000 a month. Would you all like to make, would an extra $15,000 a month help you out right now? And all those problems that you have in life, and all those financial problems, do you think you could use an extra $15,000 a month? Can you separate yourself from the numbers and just look at it as the job is 24 units? I don't care what the number is. I'm gonna go get my 24 units. Can you do that long enough to get to a point where you're making an extra $15,000 a month within a year? And guess what, guys? At the end of the year, I wouldn't advise going above this, by the way, because you're going to run into problems with max bets and things like that. So I would end it here. There's a reason I ended it right there. But guess what? At the end of this, once you get to the end of this chart, you're in year 2, you're earning 2,000 if you keep this going, if you don't just pocket the money, which we could talk about. Probably the way I would do it if I was doing it is I would do this for a year and then pocket the money and then restart at $1,000, do it again. And when I did it again, then I would keep it going. So in my case, in 3 years, I'd be making $2,400 a day times 30. So that's 72 grand a month times 12, roughly $864,000 a year in 3 years. And I'll let you guys do the math on what that averages out to per day. But I don't know about how you all live your lives, but the way I live my life an extra $72,000 a month would pay a few bills, and I could live off of that. Anyways, I've gone on long enough. I'm sorry, guys. Let's get to where we play for 6 units. Stand by. Guys, I'm here ready to earn my 6 units for the day. I already got my read. I have not played the simulator. I have no idea which direction this is going to go. We're going to play it. Someone asked me, why do I go for 24 units a day and or 6 units? And the reason why I chose the number 24 is because how easy it is to break it up. You could do 8 sessions of 3 units per day. So, I mean, you're talking about very, very micro sessions. You could do 4 sessions of 6 units per day, which is typically what I do. You could do 6 sessions of 4 units per day. You could do 2 sessions of 12 units a day. There's so many numbers that go into 24. So there's so many ways to divide it up. You could do 1 session of 24 units and just knock it all out, right? But I like having shorter sessions not because I'm afraid of the table, but I think that mentally, the longer our sessions go, and I just dropped my pen, the longer our sessions go, we get mentally fatigued. And when you get mentally fatigued, you're more likely to make mistakes. So I'll let you guys decide how you want to break it up for yourselves. This is how I choose to break it up. All right, so let's play for 6 units. I'm going to put 1 unit on banker. We won. I'm going to put 1 unit on player. We won. It's 2 units. We're going to do another unit on player. We lost. Okay. So let me get my 10 out. That's 2, 1, 1. And we're -1. We're going to do a no bet. All right. Player came out. So now we're 3, 1, 1. So we're going to do 1 unit on banker. All right. So we're -2 now. And our score is 3, 2, 2. Alrighty, so we're gonna do 1 unit on banker here. We lost, we're -3. So our score is now 4, 2, 2. Am I worried? Absolutely not. Alrighty, so now we're gonna do no bet again. We're -3. We got a tie. All right, so player 1. So our score is 5, 2, 2. We're still -3. And we're gonna go 1 unit on player. We lost, we're -4. So we're now 5, 3, 3. And we're -4. Let's see, so it's gonna be, we're gonna go 5 units on player. And we won. And so now we're up 3 units. So that's the end of that mini game. All right, we're gonna go 1 unit on player. We tied. I hate tying 9s. Bothers me when I get a natural 8 or 9. Don't. All right. So we lost. So now we're 2, 1, 1, -1. No play. All right. So we're 3, 1, 1, -1. So we're gonna do 1 unit on banker. And we won. We're gonna close out that mini game. So now you all may recognize that we have a chop pattern. Like I said, I don't get too back in the day, I used to get engrossed by patterns, okay? I know all this because I've walked the road. So I don't like to get too engrossed by this, but I have a system that it just uses the patterns to figure out the numbers. That's why I like Baccarat more than I like Blackjack. Oh, that's one of the reasons I like Baccarat more than I like Blackjack. That's why I like Baccarat more than I like craps. That's why I like Baccarat more than I like roulette. One of the reasons is just because it's just I'm not dependent upon the patterns. I just kind of use them as a helpful tool. And I'll explain that if you ever train with me. All right, so we got this chop going. So I'm gonna wait for this chop to break up. Do I have to? No. What I have will work with this. But I'm just telling you guys how I play. So don't like it, find a different video. All right, so we're gonna go 1 unit on banker. And we won. All right, so we're up 4 units. We're gonna go 1 unit on player. And we won. We're up 5 units. We're gonna go 1. Oh, that should have been on player. Okay, but you know what? Mistakes happen. We'll take it, but we'll say I didn't get my bet in that time, so we'll go 1 more unit. We got a tie. And we lost. Okay. So this is some bonus play for you all. So we're 2-1-1 -1. And we're gonna go no bet. All right, so we're 3-1-1 -1. We're gonna go 1 unit on player. And we lost. So we're 3-2-2 -2. So we're gonna go 3 units on player. All right, and we won. And we're out. So there's 7 units for you, 6 units, however you want to look at it. This video is getting long enough. Hopefully I've made a lot of sense for you guys. I have a lot more content coming. I'm Baccarat Stu. If you guys would like to train with me, you can 1 second. If you guys would like to train with me, here's my information. Contact me, BaccaratStu@gmail.com. I like to think I know a little bit about what I'm talking about. I'm happy to help you guys. I'm not out here to make a killing online, but you know what? I do put work into these videos. I did work in the lab coming up with this strategy. So I like to get a little bit of something for my effort. I charge $250 to train with me. Compared to a lot of other people online, it's peanuts. And as I showed you in my chart, you'll make that $250 in 10 to 11 days, 10 and a half days on my chart. You'll get your money back. I think it's a good value proposition. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Baccarat Stu. Hope you all have a good day.